So we are starting here at the very tip of the scarf, and then on the left we're doing the additions, and that's where we are changing colors. So here on the right side, we are doing shortened rows to have this lovely effect that you see. So we are adding stitches just on the one side, and that way it grows as much as you want it to. So this is something you can definitely adjust, of course. So I'm just showing you how I did it, but you can do it bigger or smaller if you'd like. This one has a size of 150 times 75 centimeters, and I did it out of the year socks. So I used 3 spools of the blue and 2 of the orange color. The blue is the number 7 if you'd like that one, and orange is color number 9. So for this I used a 4mm hook. But as always, I'll emphasize I work very loosely, so you might need a bit bigger size than what I'm using. So just make sure you try it out before you start. We have here 400 meters per 100 grams, and we have 75% virgin wool and polyamide. So let's get started right away. Grab your yarn and hook, and we can start. I started out with a little piece, and after a couple of rows I realized it's not very clear with the specific color and size. So the beginning I'll show you with my charity wool. It's a bit bigger hook as well, so hopefully it'll be easier to see and follow. But you can of course work with the year socks so that you get a nice and very soft result. We are starting with row 1, so this is so that you can also rewind easier if you need to. So we're doing 5 chains. For the height, we do 2 more. And now into the 3rd chain from the hook, we do a single crochet. Then a chain, and into the 1st chain, another single. Another chain, and again into the 1st chain a treble. So this is where our scarf grows, and the right side is gonna stay straight, but it gets the little wings that you can see on my finished piece. So row 2 will start with 3 chains to replace the 1st treble. Then another chain and return. Into the treble of the 1st row comes a single followed by a chain. Around the chain after the treble comes a single and again a chain. Single around the next chain followed by a new chain. A single around the 2 chains we started with, and that's it for row 2. Three chains to turn, and now around the 1st chain we do a single. Now 2 times a chain and single around existing chains. One more time a chain and another single around the chains we started the last row with, and then another chain and another treble all into the same spot. So that's how we do the additions to keep the scarf growing. Row 4 starts like row 2, 3 chains for the height and another chain to turn, and then a single into the treble of the third row. Chain and treble around the chain before the treble. Three times chain and single around the existing chains. Another chain and then a single around the 3 chains we turned with. The first couple of rows are definitely fast because of their size. Okay, so 3 chains to turn with, a single around the first chain. Now 4 times the chain and a single around the chains of the last row. Three, okay, 4, and now a chain and single around the last treble and chain of the last row. Then again a chain and a treble into the same spot to keep it growing. So you see the effect that we want really quickly. Row 6 is going to be another even row, so it starts the same way as every even row. 3 chains to replace the treble, 1 more, then you turn, and then a single right into the treble. Then a chain and single around the chain, around the treble. Five times chain and single. Three. And 5. And now a chain and a single. Row 7 gets 3 chains to turn with, single around the first chain. And now we do 6 times a chain and a single. Three. Six, and another chain, single into the chain after the 3 of the last row, again a chain and treble to grow the side, And this side we will always do the same way, so it's always an extra treble into the same spot as the last single, and each odd row is going to begin with 3 chains for the height and 1 more to bridge over. Okay, now we have an even row. We start with a single and chain, and then 7 times chain and single. Three, six, and 7. Another chain and single around the chains at the end. Now here we will do 3 chains to turn with. One single around the first chain, again 7 times chain and single. Three, six, 7, and yeah, 8 actually, 1 more, so it's always 1 more than the last. End with a single, a chain, and a treble into the same spot, and now we will change the color. But I'll use this light green because white won't be as clear on camera, so I'll use a contrasting color to make it easier to follow. So you start the treble, the last one, and then you have 2 loops on your hook, and that's when you take your new color with you. This yarn you can also work into this so that you don't have to weave it in later. So I'm again doing chains. The second chain gets the orange yarn, and then comes the third chain. This way we don't have any tension going on. Okay, so now we need 1 more chain to turn with, and then a single into the treble, and then a chain and a single. So now we need 9 times a chain and single. Three, I'll shorten the beginning green now. 6, 9 and one more chain and single into the last chain of the last row. Now we can start the first wing. So now here additionally at the end of row 9, I'm doing a chain and a treble. So just like you do it here, now we will do it on both sides. So now I'll move the 9 to the side for a moment. So this is the first row of the wing. So we need a chain to turn with, and around the first chain after the treble we do a single, and then we do 5 times a chain and single. Three, 5, and then another chain and a slip stitch around the next chain. And now I'll turn right here to start our row 2 of the wing. And here we do a single around the last chain before the slip stitch. Now again 5 times, again chain and single. Three, 5, a chain, a single around the chains I started with in the last row, and then again a chain and treble into the same spot. Third row, again one chain for the height and then a single around the chain before the treble. 3 times a chain and single. One chain and a slip stitch around the next chain. Turn again, and row 4 of the wing we do with a single around the chain before the slip stitch, and then 3 times chain and single. Two, 3, and another chain and single to end with. Another chain and treble. And now comes row 5. So turn with a chain and we do again treble around the chain after the treble. Four times a chain and a single. Two. There we go, 4. So now a chain and a single deeper here into the slip stitch of the last row. then 2 times a chain and single, and again a chain and here a slip stitch, or a single actually around the slip stitch here. Chain and single, and then one more time. A chain and a slip stitch and turn again. So we did the half of the wing, and now we do new additions. The bottom part is done, so I'll show you. So we are here in the middle, and now comes the top section. A single around the chain of the slip stitch, and now row 6 we will do back till the very end. So just a chain and single. I'm stopping one chain before the very last one, so we want to keep this point, so that's why we are letting it be. So now we're turning and going back, so that's row 7. Chain the turn width and then a single around the next chain. Row 7, now we work till we get here, so until we have just 3 chains. One single is here, so slip stitch, chain, and another chain. I'll count so that you guys can follow too. Six times, okay, so 6 times chain and single. Three, and a chain. So now you have just 3 chains before the slip stitch, and that's what we want. So after these 7 times a chain and a slip stitch, then we can turn. Okay, and now keep going back with chains and singles until you get back to the very last chain. And you end before the last one. Chain and turn, and then a single around the chain underneath, and then 2 times a chain and single. chain and a slip stitch. So you see that you again have only 1, 2, 3 chains before the slip stitch. So let's do a slip stitch here, and the 10th row is starting right here. So turn and do a single around the chain underneath. Chain, single, and again. So that's also where we stop because that's our last chain. Row 11 is the last one we will do in our green. So let's turn with the chain and start with a single as always. Then another chain and a single around the next chain. And then I reach the next narrowing section, so I'm again doing a chain and a deeper single. Then again 2 times a chain and single. And then again a chain and a single into the slip stitch, and then 2 times a chain and single. Chain and a single into the slip stitch, so this is our finished wing. Now till the end of the row, so row 11. So we are also starting the row 11 of the entire scarf. So this was row 10, the green colored, we count it as 1, and then we are soon changing the color. So let's work it the same way as before, a chain and single around the chain after the 3 we start with, and 1 more chain and treble. Let me finish that and then we will move on. Okay, now we change the color to finish the treble, and then we again do 3 chains and 1 more to turn with. One single around the next chain, and then you can also weave in the old color. I forgot to do that. Okay, and now we continue with the chain and single as we were going so far. After a couple of stitches, we can shorten the old green yarn so that you don't have a ton to weave in the end. So that way you save time and energy because you do it as you work the scarf itself. Now I'm just continuing in the chain and stitch style. we work this till the last chain, and we do that one with a single, so just like we did the first orange section. And this way is the way you just keep going till you get your entire scarf done. So you can see that here as well. I'll show you where we are at. So we are here. Now you again do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows in the basic style. So it'll keep growing because of the added stitches. And then comes again another wing here, this time in an orange color in my case. And here you have row 10. So that way you always have more stitches to do before your wing actually starts. So always 8 rows in the blue here and 1 wing in orange in my case. So I hope the thicker yarn helped you to keep things clear. Feel free to do it with the ear socks if you'd like. I think the effect is a lot better that way. You get a really soft result in the end and a great looking scarf. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to shoot a thumbs up if you did. You can also subscribe to my channel to stay updated with all of the new videos that I post. And yeah, also before I leave today, I'll show you the end result of the scarf. So very pretty, and yeah, have a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in our next project. Bye!